Hi, first of all, I'd like to thank all the people who subscribed. As you can see, I do not post a lot of videos, but they apparently gathered 1,000 subscribers, so I decided I should try and be more active. Now, I'm not really a YouTuber, a teacher, a science communicator. I'm essentially a researcher that posted some results of his research on the foundations of physics. Now, typically, foundations of physics means esoteric things like wild new theories of Planck scale physics or new interpretations of quantum mechanics. I have much more practical perspective. I mean, we already have a bunch of theories, and I don't particularly feel we understand them all that well. And if you start digging and ask what is mass, what does the numeric value of the Lagrangian represent, what is the difference between a classical system and a quantum system, you don't find clear answers. And why would I want to go and find more complicated things when I still don't fully understand the simple ones that are in front of me? So that's what I try to look for, new connections between different areas of physics, math, engineering, computer science, things we already know are useful. And the more connections, the more understanding. I want to have a clear dictionary that tells me what each mathematical symbol represents on the physics side and why must it have those properties. The Poisson bracket, it represents this physical thing. A manifold, it represents that, and so on. I personally don't like explanation like, you can think it as this. Well, if you can think it as this is the best you have, it means you don't really know what it is. Same reasons I don't like interpretations. If you have to interpret it, the objects are not fully defined. This is math and physics, not some kind of poetry or some religious text that needs interpretation. Then I'd rather say I have no idea, because if I admit to myself I don't know, then I'm still looking and I'm open to a better explanation. My research project is called Assumptions of Physics because ideally I want to find a set of assumptions from which I can rederive the law. If I can do that, then I will know exactly what is the physics being described by the theory and by the math. I know that everything else is tangential, and I can read every mathematical proof as a physical argument. That is my ultimate goal. And if it turns out you guys are interested in that sort of things, then I can tell you what I think I figured out and what I still haven't. This month, I hope to publish at least a couple of those short videos where I go deep in some of these topics. For example, I will have one on how Hamiltonian mechanics cannot have attractors, cannot describe dissipative forces. This is something known, but I still find a lot of people confused about it. And by people, I mean physicists, researchers, not just students. I plan to talk about the difference between conjugate momentum and kinetic momentum. In general, I will try to talk about things that you are unlikely to find in traditional textbooks, maybe misconception I find people may have. And who knows, maybe I am the one who is confused, so don't just basically accept everything I say. Think about it for yourself. I also created a Facebook page, if people still use them. I'm not really a social media person, so anyway, the link is in the description. If you're interested in my research, I will use that to share other things I do. This could be research papers, but also things I try to do to popularize the project. I've been playing around with writing dialogues, which I find is a great way to introduce advanced topic without being excessively boring and tedious. You also find everything I do on my website, assumptionsoffphysics.org. So that's more or less the plan. Thanks again to all the subscribers. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be attempting to do this. So I hope you like it, and we'll see how it goes.